Hi, my name is Lee Scott Heemstra, and this is my POL. I wasn't
Sorry.
done. That's one, but this has been an interesting year for me, since like my grades are probably worse than they've ever been in high school. But at the same time, I almost feel like it's kind of my favorite year, just because I feel like I've grown in a lot of other ways. Because I feel like if you try to judge my growth just by looking at my grades, it would seem like I've just regressed. But if grades were the only way of showing growth, then we wouldn't have TPoLs. So, yeah. Next. Yeah. So the first learning competency that I chose is critical thinking and problem solving. And you can just go to the next slide. And so the evidence of this I chose was the Insider's essay. So at the beginning of the year in Tanya's class, one of the first, I think maybe the first project we did was the Insider's project. And so the project was basically just to choose something about our identity and just kind of write an essay on that. And this project was, I was really actually really excited about this project since I had thought a lot about my identity already ever since like I first started seeing a therapist late last year. And I started thinking about that because I started to realize I kind of didn't know what my identity was. So because of this, I kind of already knew sort of what I wanted to talk about. So I didn't actually have any trouble like thinking about what I wanted to write or anything. I just kind of wrote what was on my mind and put it into words. And I was really proud of it, and my mom was really proud of it, and in general it turned out well, and I was really happy with it. And I felt like I was able to just grow a lot in that area, and in my sense of self in general, just kind of by writing about it and putting it into words. So yeah, I kind of felt like I used critical thinking there, just kind of I thought critically about who I was as a person, I guess, if that makes sense. So yeah. And next slide. So yeah, so then the next area is collaboration, and I've always kind of had trouble with this, with like group projects and stuff, because I feel like I've always kind of been that person who like doesn't get much done, and kind of the rest of the group does it for them. But I don't want to be that person, because like it's kind of I feel like part of the reason that happens is because I just have a lot of trouble focusing, so I'll be like not paying attention, and I'll miss something important about the project, or like everything important about the project. And then I'll be afraid to like ask for help, because I feel like if I do, then someone will be like, oh, well, you're supposed to know this already and stuff, and I just feel kind of nervous about that. Plus, kind of I've been trying to become kind of more independent, so I also want to try and do things by myself, even when I can't. So I just feel kind of torn between like wanting to do things by myself and not being able to do things by myself. So yeah, next. So an example of this is the biomimicry project in biology. So the project was basically, we had to kind of come up with like an idea or like a solution to like something in nature, and kind of take inspiration from nature and kind of come up with an invention to try and solve that. So this was like one where I had a lot of group work struggles, because at times I didn't get along with my group and stuff like that. And so there was this one part of it that I had to do myself, all on my own, which was like I had to write a paper on which area of nature we got inspiration from. And I kind of like, then it was the day before our exhibition and I hadn't done any of it. And then I kind of basically had to admit that to my group. And then they were a lot more understanding than I would have expected, and like they helped me finish it, and so I didn't do it on my own, even though I was supposed to. But I think I learned something there, because I realized, I shouldn't be afraid to ask for help so much, especially when I really need it. Because even if there's a chance I'll like get yelled at, it's better than I'd better to ask for help sooner and like get it done with than wait even longer, and then later on when I ask for help, then they're a lot more likely to get upset about it, about me not having much done. And yeah, I just kind of felt like that, I was holding all the focus issues and all that, I was holding me back, and from that I was holding my group back, and I don't want to do that in the future, so that's something I'm working on growing in now. So yeah. So then the next is effective communication, and this is an interesting one, since I kind of feel like I've grown a lot in like my ability to put my thoughts into words and kind of say what's on my mind and describe it in a way that makes sense to people. So, next slide. Oh, alright. So for this one, I chose my writing portfolio reflection from the end of the first semester with Tanya right before she left. Because basically at the end of the semester, we just did this reflection where we had to we followed some guidelines and kind of wrote about what we had, how we'd grown and all that stuff. And so yeah, this is kind of a good comparison with my identity essay, because it's kind of, at this point I kind of felt like I understood myself a lot better than I did before. I kind of felt like I was able to understand myself and kind of who I was, at least for the most part. I think I understand myself even better now than I did then. But I think it's to compare them, you can really see how much I've grown. And now, like, at the time I did my Insiders essay, I was really proud of it. And now, like, looking back on it, I almost feel less proud of it, just because I feel like, not just because I feel like now that I do understand it, like, understand myself better, it's kind of, like, it's also kind of because I feel like now that I understand myself, I would know better how to write about not understanding myself. So now I feel like I could have written it a lot better, even though now it would be kind of pointless to rewrite it. But, yeah. Next slide. So then this is mastery of core content. I sort of just going to talk about each subject and how I've grown and how I've grown to understand them and stuff. And so humanities. So this one, I guess I'm supposed to talk about how I've grown in understanding humanities here, but I kind of feel like humanities has helped me grow in my understanding of myself. So for my evidence here, instead of choosing one thing, I just kind of chose the two things I was just talking about to compare them. I kind of go more in depth about that. It's just kind of like in general, I feel like humanities and the first semester specifically kind of helped me a lot to really understand myself better and who I am and who I want to be. And I feel like, like I said earlier, my grades weren't as good as I would have liked them to be this year. But I feel like, academically I haven't grown a lot, but I think now that I kind of understand myself better, I think it'll be easier to better myself for the future. So yeah. So then this is math. So then I did kind of the same sort of thing here. I compared the last 2 units of math this year were trig and probability. And trig was really difficult for me. It was kind of like, usually like if I just miss a lot of assignments, I can like try and make them up later. But with this, I wasn't really missing a lot of assignments like I usually do. I was turning them in, I just wasn't doing very well on them, and I wasn't doing well on the quizzes and stuff. I had a lot of trouble really understanding trig. And even after it even ended, I just kind of was unhappy with it. So then we moved on to the final unit, probability. I kind of feel like maybe I tried a bit harder to understand it, and plus probability in general, I guess, is a simpler concept than trig. But also, I just kind of felt a lot prouder of it in the end, and I felt like I'd rather have ended the year with probability than trig. So I'm glad I ended it with that. So yeah. And then biology was a really difficult class this year, because this one I did miss a lot of assignments. And I ended up spending more time trying to make up those assignments than kind of focusing on the current assignments, which I now know was a bad idea. Because now I have to realize what I kind of learned from that was what I should have done was focus more on the present, because Brandon even said that, he even told me I should focus on the current assignments because he cared more about me showing my understanding of the concepts than the actual points for my grade and all that. But I didn't really listen to that, and I kind of kept trying to make up all the assignments anyways. And in the end, I didn't really end up being able to fix my grade, but I think I learned from that really well on how to handle it for the future. So yeah. So this slide has kind of a lot of words on it, but so I probably should have done this in multiple slides actually, but oh well. But I'll start with college road trip, I guess. College road trip was a really unique experience. And it was just a good chance to kind of think about the future, because I hadn't really thought much about the future in college and what I wanted to do at all before, because it was just kind of scary to me, and it felt far away, and I was like, oh, I don't need to think about that yet. And then I was at college road trip, and I was like, oh, I guess I kind of do need to think about this. So then I got firsthand experience looking at colleges, and I kind of started understanding more about like what college is, because I had kind of missed out on a lot of the stuff where like whoever the college advisor was at the time would like because I don't know, but she would explain like how college works and stuff, and like all the different kinds of colleges, and I kind of didn't really pay much attention to that, and I kind of wish I had. But then this was a good chance to kind of catch up on understanding that. But even more than that, I felt like it was a good opportunity to kind of understand myself and the people around me better, you know. I was able to expand on the existing bonds with my friends and just kind of understand myself better, and I think it was a good experience. And then so for actual college, I definitely want to major in computer science, because I've kind of just used computers my whole life. It's like what I've done, and I just can't see myself doing anything else with my life. So my safety is Mesa College. I think that's kind of the one everybody says, because it's like it's nearby, and it seems like, because I don't know if I really feel like I don't feel ready for college now, and I don't know if I'll feel fully ready then. But then I think this is kind of a good stepping stone. And in general, just because a lot of people I know seem to be thinking of going there, they can't get anywhere else. So I'll probably have at least a few people I know. And then, that was the last slide.
Yeah, it just went to sleep. I'm sorry. It'll be up in a second. If you want to keep going.
Yeah.
So you have about like 30 seconds.
All right. So for my for my ranges, I chose UC Santa Cruz was the first one. And that one I saw during college road trip, and I really liked what I saw. It seemed, and they had a really good computer science program. I talked to some people there about it. And it just seemed like a cool place that I would definitely want to go to. And I was thinking, if I can't get in there, I might want to go to Mesa and then kind of get into UC Santa Cruz from there. And then the next one was kind of USC. It's kind of, again, it's in California, so it's relatively close to home. And they seem to I read up on them online. We didn't go there during college road trip, but I read about it online, and it seemed like they had a really good computer science program. And the last one was for range was CSU Channel Islands, which seemed like just a really cool area and was really interesting. And the campus seemed cool, and again, because they seem to have a good computer science program. So, and then for my reach, all my reaches were kind of pretty big reaches because I didn't really know what else to put. But kind of I could put like MIT and Harvard. Everybody's heard of those. They're like dream schools. Like really hard to get in, but like if I could, I'd probably go. Even though I kind of want to stay in California, it's so hard to get into that I feel like I would just kind of have to. And same kind of thing applies to Stanford. It's in like the top 5 computer science schools. And again, it's really hard to get into, but if I could, I would definitely go. And yeah, this is my TPoL. Any questions?
So we have about